Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risk their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we are the ones who are suffering under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and the famine is coming. It is well on its way, man. And the famine, as it says in Matthew chapter 24, these are the beginning of sorrows. And we're in that time, man, when Yahushua said, look out for the signs before his return. And we know his return is going to be happening in this lifetime, within the next few months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. His return is close. And we know that by way of measuring the times diligently and relating it to Bible prophecy. The famine is almost here. And this has been prophesied onto the world for decades upon decades upon decades that this time would come. And many of you scoffed and scorned and rejected the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai talking to you Israelites, as it is only for you to reject. Because salvation is only for one nation, and that nation is the nation of Israel, the Lord's holy chosen people. So salvation is for you, and the judgment is at hand. 2 Ezra 15 and verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I'll put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So the prophecies of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai are going to come to pass, whether you people want it to or not, whether you people care for it or not. It doesn't matter how you feel. The Lord's prophecies are going to come to pass. And whether you believe in this truth or not, they're going to come to pass. And for the wicked unbelieving of our people, you will feel the judgments that are coming from Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, which includes that famine. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So the Lord is only talking to his people, man. Alright? Only an Israelite can have faith. So when it's talking about the unfaithful, it is saying the Israelites who refuse to repent, the wicked unbelieving of our people, shall die in their unfaithfulness. And even when you go to verse 1, it says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. My people speak in the ears of my people. I.e., the Lord is telling us, preach this gospel unto your people who are the Israelites. Verse 5, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. So, this is what is at hand. Alright? And now it is coming. The famine is sure. It's very close. Okay? I have this video here from Dabu. Food supply chain is breaking. Panic buying begins. Fuel rationing and water restrictions imposed. So, the famine is coming in from multiple angles in all kinds of different types of ways. You have the war situation at hand, which, the price increase of certain things such as manufacturing costs and transport costs will be a domino effect to where food prices will increase. But it's not only that. There is an issue with the fertilizers in the time where fertilizers are needed the most, and without the fertilizer going out, the crops are going to be severely reduced. There is these different destructions that are happening, whether it be the wildfires in America or the the culling of the poultry and the cattle, which has been going on for years due to the apparent bird flu virus, right? So you have different angles that this famine is coming in, and the food supply chain has been broken. And so now what they're saying is that with the whole fertilizer issue, that once you miss it, it's over, right? It's not something that can be recouped. You know what I'm saying? Once you miss it, the damage is done. And so this entire famine is all engineered by the wicked elite of Esau Edom, the elite bankers, who have their New World Order agenda that they're pushing forward with right now, with their main goal to microchip the world, make it mandatory, and make it required in order to gain access to goods and services. They want to mark the people, and they're going to mark the people, bringing in their next level slavery system by way of that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. This is where it's all heading towards. And so they know, the wicked elite of Esau Edom, that the food is a very powerful tool that can and will be used to establish their new world. All right, they know that, man. And so that's why they're bringing it in now, because it means that they're really making their very heavy push towards their new system, the fourth industrial age, Agenda 2030, the intelligence age, whatever they want to call it, man. It's all the same plan and goal, which is to launch that microchip and make it mandatory worldwide. Okay, so they're going to be bringing in the famine, and it is the Lord who's doing it. Firstly, of course, the Lord is in full and absolute control. However, when it is said that they are engineering it, it's talking about the wicked elite of Esau Edom, who are being controlled by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to do all these things. So yes, Esau is the one that's being controlled to bring in the famine, to bring hell upon the earth, to bring about, because we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, we're aware of certain technology that he possesses, in which he can create certain things using that technology, such as, I don't know, like a random plague. You know what I'm saying? Esau is going to be used to do these things. Okay? And in Psalm 17 and verse 13, it says, "Arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." All right, so the wicked is talking about the Edomites, who are these so-called white people. They're the ones that are in rulership today, right? And we're witnessing the downfall of their kingdom, right? Which, once their kingdom has ended, it will be the beginning of our kingdom, and Yahushua returns at the end of Esau's kingdom to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel and to destroy America, which is Babylon the Great, and to deliver the elect and set up the kingdom, man. Okay, so this is all that is at hand. And so now let's listen.
We have the repercussions of this war with Iran being felt worldwide, and people are beginning to panic buy, and prices skyrocketing in different departments here. We obviously have the situation with oil at the forefront, and this is what many consider to be like Lock 1. This is what's sparking everything and has the whole fiasco in motion. But then on top of this, you have Russia and China stepping up as Lock 2 and Lock 3, both putting a stop to exporting things like ammonium nitrate, which is used for fertilizer. And then Beijing, the nitrogen, potassium, all the phosphate blends for the fertilizer. At the same time, they're strategically stopping this from going out worldwide as part of this war. The price of gas climbing. This is how Iran is fighting back without missiles, hurting Donald Trump here on the home front because the price is rising. It's passing that $4 mark on average, which they label as politically sensitive. Donald Trump's latest approval numbers at an all-time low of 32%. as he keeps trying to go back and forth, and everyone can kind of tell he has no solid off ramp to like end this whole thing. And then you have other countries like going into kind of crisis mode of their own. Australia, panic buying, prompts the PM to reassure Australians that the fuel's going to be there and it won't go through the roof, but people are not believing that. They're going out en masse anywhere they can, and they're stocking up en masse, and the panic begins. When it comes to the fertilizer, the timing here is critical. It's spring. This is when all the farmers are getting their gardens going, getting their farms going, and that can't happen for a lot of them if they don't have the fertilizers that they need. They're going to the Trump administration like, we need help, and Trump's trying to act like everything's going to be okay. Short-term pain, long-term gain is what they try to keep saying, but that's a bunch of garbage. Look around the world, and you can see people are feeling it big time. Japan getting hit in terms of its reserves. And other places have been selling their gold. That's why the gold pulled back, so they can buy other things that they don't have because everything's turning. Now, Japan and Trump are both saying that this could boost coal-fired power. Well, that's not going to help anyone throughout Appalachia in America that has coal that the government says you basically can't sell. They've shut down coal country, even when Donald Trump promised that he would revive it. Then you have India slapping taxes on fuel exports at the same time. All this going down and causing problems for surrounding areas, like in Thailand. They're tightening the fuel prices. People are freaking out the same way. They're trying to go to the store and get as much gas as possible. There's shortages. They are rationing there now. Fuel.
Yeah, so you see, the famine happens in stages, right? It's like a thing that first comes the rationing, the price increases, and the rationing into more price increases, to where then the food is so expensive you can only buy a certain amount, which leads to even more rationing than just rationing based on what is available, to eventually like there just be nothing up in the stores. All right. And the Lord said this would happen in the book of Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, talking to the nation of Israel, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, right? So they shall eat bread by weight and with care. So this is the rationing, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, right? Rationing of the food and the water, right? There's only going to be a certain amount of supply, right, for the week, and it's going to be a very serious rationing, okay? So this is what is kicking in. And yeah, you know, these kinds of images, right? Some people would, you know, I mean, if you actually go out to the stores, you'll see it, you know, so I'm not sure how anybody can really refute it, but some people would try to refute it, man. But the thing is, like, even out here in Jamaica, when you go to the grocery stores, the shelves have not looked how they used to look in a hot minute. Meanwhile, the price of everything is going up, right? You can feel like, it feels like the prices are increasing per month. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. And when you go to the grocery stores, you literally see out here in Jamaica where you'll have some sections that are just empty like this, and then you look at other sections and, you know, it's scarce looking in a certain type of way, and then you'll see some that are packed somewhat full. But before, it used to be just like fully packed up regularly, all these kinds of things. And so the supply chain, you know, it really got a big hit during the worldwide pandemic in 2020, and that hasn't recovered, and things have only been getting worse. So now this war that's going on, it's like it's making like some final hits to it to bring about, you know, this full-fledged famine that is going to be worldwide.
Fuel. As it begins, So, rationing, this leads ultimately to like flight cancellations, export limits, price controls, all because of the situation going down in Hormuz at the heart of it.
All right. So yeah, we got the gist of what Dabu is saying. Um, and so this image, which is an image that's going to be coming out very frequently, and it has already come out several times already, but it shows the steps of what is going on. First, the oil prices surge, right, due to the war situation, literally experiencing that right now. Then the global inflation is rising, higher transport and manufacturing costs transfer inflationary pressure onto all goods that are available, like the food, but also other things that you need. So your purchasing power overall just keeps getting hit, right? Luxury items are completely out of the window. People are in survival mode. And of the essentials and being in survival mode, those things are going to become even shorter as well, right? So that's what it is. Then eventually shipping and trade disruption, vessels rerouted, insurance premiums jump, freight costs increase, slows goods between continents. So goods are no longer going to be going country to country. And you heard Abu that what it sounds like is that the countries around the world, they're closing their doors and they're not going to be exporting certain things because it's like every man for themselves, right? So it's going to start with the countries, right, which we're literally seeing right now, and then it's going to happen to the people, right? So it happens on that big kind of scale, you know what I mean, on that scale. And then it's going to happen where individual people as well are going to be like, wait, hold on a second. They're going to feel they need to live in a certain type of way, which is going to be that rationing and everything. So like places that can't sustain itself based on the food production in the country, like out here in Jamaica, where only 10 to maybe 30%, most likely less than that, let's call it 20% of the food in the country is self-made. So that means that 80% of the food is coming from other countries. What happens when the ships stop coming? This place falls apart very easily, man. And other countries are in the same predicament. Then it talks about aviation routes impacted, but the final stage of all of this is the impact on the money, right? Where the money is going to crash. So this is where it's all heading towards, man. The crash of the current financial system to introduce the next financial system, which is going to be a digital payment system, which the main mode of payment, the only mode of payment, will be that microchip, which is going to be making digital payments, as it is a digital device that does that, makes payments. So this is where it's all heading towards, man. All right, I was gonna watch another video. Where is it at? This one right here.
Temu, shop like a billionaire.
But
well, everybody,
he just speaks to what is going on, which is the same thing that Dabu is talking about, actually. Nationwide alert, World War III alert, oil supply shock warning, gas station shut down, media blackout. I can go to the transcript, right? He's talking about the situation with the gas. There are some countries that are talking about, work from home instead, don't do this, don't do that. So it's like being conservative with oil usage, right? So shortages are already emerging across Asia, Pakistan, Thailand, Australia, and the European Union. But the energy crisis that we're 30 days into is only at the beginning, which is true. It's only 30 days in, man, right? And look how things are already collapsing. And Esau has already reported that the things that have already been hit and damaged, it's going to take years for them to recover. And this is only over the span of a month of this situation starting. And they're already saying that there is such heavy damage on the logisticals. Is it logisticals? No. The logistics of how the world operates with its whole, what is trade and bartering and everything that has been going on, of how things have been flowing to allow the world to operate. Those things have been broken down, and it will take years to repair. So this place is through. That is the point. This place is through, and the famine is coming. All right. This is a dude who actually, he does a lot of the doom scrolling and gathers up all of the relevant information regarding what is going on in the world. So it's a decent channel to watch, decent channel. All right, full spectrum survival, right? But this is the situation at hand, man. The famine is coming. All right, and as Yahushua said, because we're in this time, Matthew 24 and verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So this is the time that we're in, man. The war has begun, right? We're in it, World War III, which will eventually lead to the War of Armageddon, right? It's building up. The mark of the beast prophecy has to be fulfilled first before the end, which is going to be when America is destroyed. So Armageddon will not kick off in that way until the mark of the beast prophecy is fulfilled. So look out for that. But now, right now, we're in this time where the famines and the pestilences are coming, as these other signs are there, such as the earthquakes and now the nation rising against nation. And so these are going to be the beginning of sorrows, because things are going to intensify to a whole new other level. Even when there's famine and pestilence and earthquakes going on, it's going to intensify to a whole new level once it is that microchip becomes mandatory in order to eat, in order to gain access to government services, in order to gain medical services, in order to gain any kind of service in society. It's going to be next level. All right. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodesh. Shalom.